Do you want anything from the shop?
Cornetto.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
That's my secret, Cat.
I'm a Jedi.
I'm Batman.
Yes.
It feels really nostalgic to me. Is
That's
it too
the
nostalgic?
point.
Yeah,
That's-
Are people gonna like it?
Fuck 'em.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
Why so serious?
The first rule of Fight Club is...
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
It's tricky like that, Jesus.
Life, finds a way.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
You talking to me?
What do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
It's spicy. You like spicy?
No.
It's not so spicy. Come on.
This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints.
Oh.
I can get you one.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Real Issues. I'm Rob, and I'm joined by my brother from a different mother. He's adopted. He doesn't know. It's Matt.
I mean, I look exactly like our dad, so don't think I'm adopted, but burn.
It was a good burn. Straight in
Classic
there.
comedy.
1-0 already after
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Good time to take a drink, that, right in the middle
I
of
thought you were
the
going to
intro.
say hello or something to the audience, but...
People know me. I'm a thing. I'm an internet celebrity.
You're on 2
Don't need-
podcasts.
Yeah, you don't need introduction when you're an internet celeb like me.
Right. We've got a load of stuff to talk about this week, Matt. Not really that much, just some things.
I was going to say, you literally just said before we started going, there's not that much.
I was trying to hype it up, and then I realised that I had nothing to back that claim up with, so backtrack very quickly. Incredibles 2 had a trailer. Talk about that for a few seconds. People care about that. Did you see Last Flag Flying?
No, I've not watched it, actually. I've not, again, another film I've not had a chance to watch. I watched the trailer, and the trailer looks mint, but the film's... I was going to try and squeeze it in, but it is about 2 hours.
It is quite long, yeah. It's
over like 2.5 hours, so I didn't want to...
Well, I'll talk about that for a little bit.
I didn't want to start and then stop.
And then you've seen Coco.
I have seen Coco.
Then we got some Black Panther with some really good feedback, actually, from the Twitter. And then we're going to talk about our book club, which was Nightcrawler, which wasn't a book, it's a film, but, you know, books are for nerds, so there you go.
Yeah.
Incredibles 2 trailer, Matt.
Behold the Underminer!
Watch after Jack. I thought we were gonna go.
You heard your mother. Trampoline me. We meet again.
Superheroes are illegal.
We want to fight bad guys. It defines who I am.
We're not saying you have... What?
Someone on TV said it.
Did you like Incredibles 1, which came out a long time ago?
I did in like Incredibles 1, Rob. It's the Fantastic Four film that we all deserve.
2004.
Is what idiots say on the internet.
Yep.
It
I
is
mean,
good,
there's
though.
4 superheroes in it,
Yeah,
and one of
they're
them's a bit
family.
stretchy.
Yeah. That's what I don't really understand.
It is like that thing people say. It's like the Die Hard Christmas thing where people say, like, "What's your favorite Christmas film?" "Oh, it's Die Hard." "Oh, I'm so edgy." Shut up.
Yeah.
You like the
People
Incredibles.
just-
You don't have to make it about Fantastic Four. It's just a different
It's
thing.
its own thing.
And
It's kind of insulting in a way.
And it's good. Just enjoy
Yeah.
it for what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Some good stuff. Good stuff in there. Good moral stuff as well.
Mr. Mom is what people are saying.
Pardon?
Mr. Mom is what people are saying because he's like a dad, but he's like a mum, so it's different, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
apparently.
it's 2018. We still want to make a comment about that. It's what everyone's
Exactly,
making. A
yeah.
comment.
We have to make a comment on
A
family
dad
dynamics.
being a father. Jacob Rees-Mogg won't change nappies, will he? So
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
you should watch this.
Yeah.
Looks good fun though, doesn't it? Bob Odenkirk's in it. He's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
A load of
I'm
other people are in
looking
it.
forward to this. Yeah, people have been raving about this for it's weird because people have been like, when it got announced, like, yes! But now the trailer's come out, no one seems to be going that mad, so I'm a bit like, well, what do you want?
Yeah,
what do you want here?
expect from this?
What do you expect? Like, I don't understand what you want.
Yeah, I think
like
it was pretty
people
good. Like the first one was good. This
Yeah,
one
it's
probably is. I like how it's been like 15 years since the first one, which means that they probably aren't doing it just for a money grab.
For a cash grab, yeah. Well,
hopefully they've got a story that they want to do, I guess.
yeah, well,
I don't know.
Pixar aren't that kind of people anyway. They're not really cash grabbing.
Cars.
Yeah, well, apart from Cars, which is really strange that they made 3 of them, their least successful like franchise. But you kind of look at their body of work as a whole, and there's, pretty much every single one is successful, and there's always scope for sequels if they tried hard enough, but they decide not to. So I'd say this is probably because they've got a good story and they've taken the time to figure it out and everything.
Hope so. It looks kind of immediately after the first one though, which is interesting. Like the kids are all kids and stuff. Like I thought they might make it forward, but they haven't. So fair play, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We will when the film comes out.
Yeah, we will. We will indeed. I know we've got. Do you want to say any more on that? Do you want to say anything else? No, that's all right.
I don't care enough to make anything up to talk about.
Yeah,
I think it looks quite fun. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it does look quite fun. Should we stick with Pixar, and I'll do my quick review of Coco.
It's you. You're gonna get me in trouble, Dante. Someone could hear me. I wish someone wanted to hear me. Other than you. Okay. I know I'm not supposed to love music.
No music. No music.
But my great-grandma Coco's father was the greatest musician of all time.
So I went to watch Coco. Don't interrupt me. I went to watch Coco, which is a new Disney Pixar film, which seems to have kind of fallen off the radar a little bit, which is kind of strange for Disney Pixar films. It's like everyone was watching it.
It didn't come out at a good time, did it? Like, did it come out before Christmas when there's like Star Wars and...
Well, it did in America, I think.
I seem to thinking it came out ages ago.
Let me
I'm kind
of
surprised that it's still on.
Do some on the fly.
Real time Googling.
Real time. Oh my god! I've typed Google into Google. The internet's broken.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I do. I still. Do you still type www dot?
No,
I do.
I'm not.
I'm mental. Coco release date UK. It's not telling me.
Cutting edge things here.
There's not a quick answer here, so I can't be bothered. Oh wait. Released in UK today, 19th of January.
Okay. I had a feeling it's been out for ages.
Released in the UK.
I think people were talking about it for ages, though, because I think maybe the embargo lifted really early.
Possibly, yeah.
So, because I remember hearing people talk about it for ages, saying it was really good, and then I don't really remember seeing any advertising for it, or I've heard it talked about really highly in like journalists kind of circles and podcasts and stuff. But yeah, I've not really seen anything about it anywhere other than that.
No, that's what I mean. And like, obviously, I work at the cinema. People haven't come in, like droves like they usually do to come and watch a Disney Pixar film. But I really enjoyed it. I think it's really, really great film.
What's it about?
It's about this boy and his family. It's all about family, Rob. It's about family. It's like Fast and Furious.
To get some ronies.
Yeah, and it's like family like music, and there's this boy who his family kind of think music is like evil, and it would bring like a curse onto his family, so he's not allowed to play music, not allowed to sing songs or anything. But he's in love with this really, really famous musician, and he I can't remember 100% why, but he thinks he's his great granddad. I think it's his great granddad. Anyway,
he's in love with his great granddad.
No, he like really idolizes him as
okay.
a musician, and then he's like figures out that he's his great granddad and everything, and wants to like emulate him and show his family that music's not evil; it's something joyful and everything. And it all happens on like the night of the Day of the Dead festival, where everyone goes and visits the family's graves and stuff, and puts pictures out and everything. And then Miguel, he's called, Miguel the boy, he kind of stumbles into like the world of the dead, and kind of gets reunited with his dead family and stuff. And it's about him kind of trying to get back to the land of the living because he needs his like family's blessing to go back, but they're kind of putting terms and conditions on it, like you can go back, but you're never allowed to play music because it's evil, and it's kind of about why they think that, and it's just a really nice film. It's really well done, and they use kind of the fact that everyone's dead to do some really like interesting things with the animation and play around with different bits and pieces, and it's just a really nice, really good, nice film. Yeah, I think there's a lot to kind of take from it, and it's just interesting that no one's really speaking about it that much unless they've already seen it, and no one's really coming to see it as much as maybe they did for like stuff like Inside Out and earlier Pixar films and stuff, because I'd say it's just as good, if not better, than some of them. So
good stuff.
Yeah, I would say if you around, definitely go and check that out, because it's good. It's good fun and emotional as well, and really good music.
Good. I can't really input because I haven't seen it, but yeah. 4 stars.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah.
5 stars.
Maybe pushing 5 stars. I can't really think of anything to fault it by, but
that is praise indeed.
So, yeah, I can't think of anything that I was sat there going, that's not great or whatever. So
cool.
It all worked for me.
Next up, I think we'll take a look at Last Flag Flying.
You know what amazes me about you?
Well, it could be anything. I'm a pretty amazing guy.
You turn the keys to your bar over to the guy who's asleep on your pool table, and then you jump in your car and you drive me to hell and gone, and you don't even know where we're going.
Ask the question, am I willing to surrender to God?
What the hell happened to Mueller the Mauler? First-class drinker, gambler.
I see we have some visitors amongst us here today.
We were in the service together with your pastor. I haven't seen these men in decades. They represent a dark period in my life.
That went down awfully quick.
Drinking for 2 now that you got old and boring.
So this is Richard Linklater's latest film. Did like Everybody Wants Some, Boyhood, All the Before, Sunset, After Sunset, Sunrise, whatever they're all called. I was really excited about this. So when I saw the trailer like ages ago, I think this must have been finished like a year ago or something. But I think it's done like the festival rounds. Yeah. And I loved Everybody Wants Some. It's probably one of my favourite films. So I was really excited to see this at the cinema. And then I've been Googling it for ages, because I know it came out in America not that long ago. And I've been Googling it for ages, and it's just never been a UK release date. But I got an email. I think someone I speak to on Twitter quite a lot put his review out, HC Movie Reviews. And I sort of said, yeah, I'm still waiting for this to come out. And I don't think it's going to come out in the UK or a theatrical release anywhere big anyway. And then literally about 2 days later, I got an email from Amazon Prime saying, look what's been added to Amazon Prime. And it was there, which is it's like a little miracle.
Yeah.
But it's about this guy whose son has died in the army, and he ordered Navy or something, I don't know, Marines. I think it's Marines. And he is an ex-Marine, and he's having like a really shit time of it. And he goes to visit and it's Steve Carell. He goes to visit 2 of his old Marine like mates, Bryan Cranston and Lawrence Fishburne. And they go on like a sort of a road trip to try and, to go and see his son. But they sort of find out things about the sort of Iraq War, and it's set at the time of the Iraq War, didn't say that. And it sort of draws parallels between that war and the Vietnam War. And it's kind of really critical of the way kind of the military kind of handles it and what they're fighting for. And it's really kind of philosophical in a sense, but it's also quite just lightheartedness about your mates, really. But it's really nice.
Is it about family, Rob?
No, it's a little bit, not really.
No. So it's not Fast and Furious.
It's not fast. It's no Fast and Furious. I will definitely say that. But it's like, in one hand, it's really quite deep, and like there's a lot of quite deep conversations. On the other hand, there's this scene on the train with Bryan Cranston, and it's probably one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. Whereas I don't want to ruin it because it's just amazing. I was like pissing myself for like 5 minutes, which when you think about when you're watching something that's kind of funny, like you very rarely sort of laugh out loud if you're the only person there.
Yeah.
Or you're only one or two people.
Special.
But it was just one of these scenes where I was like in hysterics. It was so funny. But it's really good. It's really like heartwarming, but also at the same time, it's like it's quite critical of the military and critical of the United States and the way they kind of get involved in wars and like the lies and the deceit behind like stuff like the Iraq War, which is obviously now everyone realizes is like a war crime basically. But it's also not critical of the soldiers, the people who take part in it. So it's really like nicely balanced. And the three leads are like so good. They're all like really different people, but they're all hilarious. But I definitely recommend that if you've got Amazon Prime. Or I would buy Amazon Prime to watch that because it's really good.
No, it looks really good. As I say, the trailer, like instantly, I was like, yeah, I need to watch this.
One thing I think, it's one thing that Linklater does really well is his character stuff.
Yeah,
it's like everybody wants them. Like, there's no story, so everybody wants them. It's just a group of people hanging out, and it's just really entertaining. And this is kind of the same thing. There's not really like a particular mission. Well, there sort of is, but it's not really about that. It's more about just this guy coming to terms with the death of his son and stuff.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah, it is. It is great.
Just a quick segue, kind of related to that. Like, what do you think of it just being released on Amazon, like as opposed to not having a cinema release here?
It's a shame because I don't think people will see it.
Do you think people would see it in the cinema though, if it was? I
think there are still people who turn up to, probably not many, but I think there's still people who turn up to the cinema, I think, who just kind of go to the cinema because they want to watch something. And
yeah, but I think there'll be people that would just be sat at home scrolling through Amazon Prime and be like, oh, I like Bryan Cranston, he was good in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll put that on.
Maybe,
rather than, but if they saw a film poster for it or a trailer, they wouldn't make the effort to then go to the cinema to...
Yeah, possibly, possibly. I don't know.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
I think for films like that, it probably doesn't really make much difference either way.
You're wrong. Cinema always makes a difference.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It does. I wrote an article about it, Rob.
You did.
Do you read it?
Yeah, I did.
Do you find it interesting?
You just bum off the cinema because you work there. You
no,
want a pay rise. That's all you're after. You corrupt.
I'm never getting a pay rise.
Yeah, because you're not getting enough people in, Matt.
No.
You've been bribed.
We are now. No, I love the cinema, but yeah, I wrote an article about how Netflix and Amazon Prime are destroying cinema.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That sounds really dramatic, but they do a lot of great stuff.
How they're ruining the
obviously
world.
a film,
and we're all gonna
like
die.
a film like this is probably great for that because maybe a lot of people wouldn't come and watch it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I think
cinema and stuff, so it's making it more accessible and everything. But it's kind of a shame that you don't even have the opportunity to go and sit down and watch it in a.
I think there was one nearby, but it's about a 40-minute drive away to a cinema. And it was an independent cinema, which means I probably would need to pay like 12 quid plus for a ticket.
Yeah.
And like that's almost the whole price of my unlimited card. I'm not really.
Exactly, yeah.
It's going to be something special for me to go and do that. But.
And this wasn't special enough, was it, Rob?
Well, the fact that it came on Amazon Prime like 2 days later, I was kind of justified in my decision to not pay a load of money. But
yeah, that's the thing. It's a weird argument. I wonder, I don't know.
I don't know for a film like this, like it probably because it's not like a Michael Bay. It's not going to get like the drones in, but at the same time, it's not like a Paul Thomas Anderson or a Del Toro. It's not getting Oscar buzz. So like, where's it? This sort of like mid-budget film, like I don't know where that fits in cinema anymore. Like, does it?
Yeah, they don't really. They don't get made generally,
which is a shame. Because like I said, Linklater's like these last two films have been two of my favorite films of the years they've come out. So, don't know. It's sad.
It's a shame. It'd be interesting to see where cinema is in like 5-10 years time, sort of thing. Just so I feel like streaming and everything is kind of affecting things a little bit, like
it definitely is,
like convenience and everything. But because I was saying in this article I wrote even about a film like Bright, the one on Netflix, which generally could be considered quite high concept, high budget, but just wasn't released in the cinema. It was just put on.
I'd like to see the viewing figures for that
because it's a Netflix original thing and everything.
I'd like to see like if they could somehow equate like Netflix viewing figures to how much that would have made at the box office.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I wonder how many people actually watch Bright.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I had no interest in that. I would not. I
I would not have paid to go. I've still not watched it, but I
I wonder if more people would have watched. Like, it's interesting to see like if more people would have watched it. Obviously, you can never tell, but if more people would have watched it on Netflix and gone to the cinema to pay money to watch it, because I've sort of been a little bit tempted because it's on Netflix. Whereas if it's at the cinema, I just would not have seen it at all. I still haven't watched it, but I feel like I would be more tempted.
I've not watched it. It's on Netflix for free, which says more about the film probably.
But it's the same with what's the Cloverfield Paradox one?
Oh yeah.
They've done this like big marketing thing where they just dropped it on
had
one
a
night.
Super Bowl trailer.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, that's.
And then they just dropped it, which
mental.
I think, like again, like if they'd done that at the cinema release, would enough people have been interested to go and watch it? Probably not.
Yeah,
and I think like if it drops that night, everyone can just watch it straight away. You don't have to book a ticket. You don't have to go out your house. So you don't like. I think as well, like the negative feedback from that film, if it's dropped at the cinema and then like the first round of reviews have come out and everyone would be like, yeah, it's a bit shit. People wouldn't have gone and seen it. Whereas if you say it's dropped tonight, go and watch it now. It's on your TV now. Everyone's like, oh, I need to go and watch it now. And literally, like my Twitter exploded with it. People were like, I'm watching it now. I'm watching it now. Like everyone was saying they were watching it. Whereas if that came out in the cinema, people wouldn't have rushed to it first day. So I think more people watched it before the response came out because of that, which I guess kind of worked for them. But I mean, it's still not a good film apparently. So
yeah, exactly. So
I don't know.
But yeah, it's changing the way films are marketed and the way they're taken in and everything. But I think the cinemas are fighting back as well, kind of slowly. Like they've all pretty much got like a cheap day now where you can get tickets for under like a $5. There's all the unlimited cards and stuff like that. View cinemas are doing like $4.99 tickets just across the board. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes in like 5-6 years time. See people going back to the cinema, or if like streaming's just kind of, because obviously streaming's old, but it's only really exploded recently.
Yeah, so our Black Panther wasn't even sold out.
Pardon?
Our Black Panther viewing was the first night at 7:00, and it wasn't sold out. Considering how much money it's made a lot of money. Like our showing wasn't sold out, and it wasn't like rammed, which is weird because when I worked at the cinema like 6 years ago, like we used to get queues like round the corner for certain films. I go pretty much every night to these Marvel, Star Wars, everything like that opening night, and they're never as busy as I've used to see a cinema at stuff like James Bond or.
No, yeah, definitely. People have just stopped coming to the cinemas,
but they still seem to be making a load of money. Is that just repeat viewings?
I think it's more like people are still coming to watch it, but I think it is generally more spread out.
I mean, they have so many showings, I suppose. Like it's not just one showing at 8:00. It's like. There's one at 7, there's one at 7:30, there's one at 8, 8:30.
Exactly, yeah.
There's IMAX, there's IMAX 3D.
I think people are kind of waiting a little bit longer to see it and everything. Waiting to hear it's good first. Make sure it's worth the money, because
money on it,
sometimes tickets are looking at 12, 13, 14, 15 pounds for one person to go and watch a film. So that's obviously got something to do with it as well. It's a balancing act of how many people you're going to get through the door and how much you can charge them, sort of thing. So
yeah, true, very true.
Interesting one.
Speaking of cinema, we've been to cinema.
We have,
and we saw Black Panther.
I've seen it twice.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go. We are home. My son, it is your time. Show me my respect and bow down. You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
Black Panther.
Black Panther is a film.
A new Marvel film. Don't know where we're up to now. 16, 17?
Something like that.
Non-spoilers. Do you want to give a brief summary of what's going on?
So, it takes place a week after Civil War, I believe.
Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, which, we saw the Wakandans for the first time, and we saw King T'Chaka get blown up by Zemo. Well, looked like Barnes, was Zemo, blew him up. And we saw T'Challa, the Black Panther, kind of. Well, he didn't take the throne, I suppose, in this one, but he became like a big part of Civil War and hunting Zemo down for his revenge mission. He went on his whole arc. So this is, I said a week after, and it picks up with him about to be crowned king of Wakanda. And obviously there's been hints to the fact that Wakanda's this. But I don't know, actually, in the films, has there been? I mean, obviously his suit's pretty...
His suit, I suppose. And like the whole...
suit's pretty impressive, and I'm trying to think if there has been or not, if there's been that many hints towards the fact that Wakanda's this amazing technological nation. Like, obviously we know that vibranium comes from there, which is what Cap Shield's made out of. It's the strongest metal in the world.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, actually. I suppose there's kind of hints, isn't there? Yeah, I think there's a bit in Age of Ultron, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's little hints. I don't know if
I don't think there has been.
You would pick up on it that much if you weren't like a comic book reader as well. So maybe this was a real surprise for some people. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we go to Wakanda, we see him, the trial of him becoming the king, and I kind of don't want to say too much, I suppose, really. I mean, obviously it's not really spoilers, but it's just about him becoming king and getting to grips with king and the politics of a country that is hidden from the world for so long, when they have the kind of ability to help other people, and that kind of struggle of should they put themselves first or go and help the world. And obviously there's going to be people opposed on both sides and have their own agendas and their own motives.
Yep.
And I think that's all I'll say for the plot, because I don't want to spoil anything too much. But no, I loved it. I thought it was a really strong film.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
And guess, especially after a second viewing, I realised how there's so many just little subtleties that are just really, really great. I think it's probably one of the best directed Marvel films in terms of ensemble performance. I thought
it's such a good cast.
All the characters were great and the cast were great, and I think it was really impressive as well. Everyone felt like they have history. Like everyone felt like a proper character. It wasn't just here's this stereotype and here's this stereotype and here's this person. It was kind of like. And they didn't explain a lot of the relationships either, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, there's very little sort of exposition where there's here's the old guy telling the story for no one's benefit other than the audience.
Yeah. It's like you got a couple, a little bits of storyline, and then they didn't really, go into it too much because it wasn't necessary, but it just gave you an idea of the world, and Wakanda itself feels like a really lived-in world, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, pretty much agree with everything you said. I sort of written that it felt like the world did feel like it had been there for a long time, and it's this really cool blend of African color and prints and culture and history mixed with this space age technology, which is really cool.
Yeah,
and it's such I wrote some review. It said it's a really empowering image of Africa, considering most of the scenes Lenny Henry crying on comic relief.
Yeah,
and we kind of have this really in the UK we have this really horrible kind of view of Africa as just people starving. You think there's more. I mean, obviously Wakanda doesn't actually exist. Yeah, but there's obviously more to it than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the hype that's surrounding it? I know it's obviously really important. The representation of black people in this way is obviously really important. In the same way that Wonder Woman was really important for people. And I noticed this in our screen. There were a lot of black people in our screen who were really excited.
Yeah,
and that's really good. And obviously, the reviews came out, I think, a few days before it got released here, to pretty good reviews. The review, people are saying there's been loads of hype, and Rotten Tomatoes is 98%, and people again seem to be misunderstanding what Rotten Tomatoes actually is. And I'd say 98% of people gave it a positive review, not saying there's only 2% wrong with the film. That's not what it means.
Yeah.
But the reviews were to be fair, most Marvel films Civil War, Winter Soldier, 4 stars usually. I've not really seen any sort of 5-star reviews. I think maybe IGN gave it a very high one, but there's been an awful lot of hype around it. Do you think it deserve the amount of praise that it's getting?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. I think it's got It's got a good story. It's got good themes that aren't too forced, not too thrown. Like it doesn't. I was never sat there going, "Oh, this is just trying to make a statement about this or that." It had that underlying.
It does do that very well, doesn't it? Like
it does do it. It does it very well. It has a message. It has a story, and it has impact. But at the same time, it's still a Marvel film. Like I've seen some people criticizing it, saying, it's too political and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's serious. We might have a tweet saying that in a minute.
And you're just like, you're an idiot. It's like this is what sets a good film apart from a great film. The fact that it can take.
It makes a point.
It makes a point as well as having the action, having the character moments, and all that sort of thing. It makes a statement really well. And it's not overplayed.
And if you think that like the disparity of black and white people in America is like political, and like is a political stance and not just a humanitarian stance, then you are completely wrong, and you don't deserve to like this film. Because if you think that black and white people are like equal, and somehow making a film about black representation, about black empowerment is too political, then there's something seriously wrong with you, and you don't deserve to watch nice things. Because
no, exactly, yeah.
Like, it's the same people who kind of, I don't know if it is the same people or not, but the people who are kind of watching like the new Star Wars films and having a go at them for me like social justice warriors because there's a black guy and a white woman as a lead, and it's like, can you just fuck off? It's not people forcing things. It's just different people have different stories to sell. Black people and women also are people who are things happen to. Like what? It's really like it's not. This isn't a political film, really. It's a little bit. It doesn't really touch on it that much.
Yeah,
but it's an important film because of like the representation that's in it. And there is a bit with Michael B. Jordan's character, who's probably one of the best Marvel villains we've had.
Yeah, definitely.
There is like a bit on that, but that's not a political thing. That's a thing that happens in America. That's like it's not political. It's
like motivations is very, very real.
It's like saying the Holocaust was bad. How is that? That's not a political stance. That's if you agree with the Holocaust, then you don't deserve anything.
It's kind of, if you think this is political, you think Captain America, the first Avengers, political. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The whole point of that film was Captain America taking down the Nazis. This is obviously a much more up to date, real. Maybe that's what people got a problem with. Be like, oh, I don't like it reflecting on society, modern society.
I feel bad about being a white person now. So,
exactly. You just think it's such a real thing that this is the kind of thing that needs to be told, and that's kind of the problem with this stuff, that you've got people out there going, black people need to be given a voice, they need to be telling the stories, and there's this platform of a Marvel film, like the biggest franchise of all time. They've got that platform to tell that story, and they've done an amazing job of telling it, and you're just going to get absolute idiots going, oh, this is too political for me. I don't care about black people getting shot in the streets by the police. I just want to watch a cool guy in a suit do some cool flips.
Do you hear the
you're an idiot.
The Kendrick Lamar did like a bits of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the soundtrack?
When I was watching the film, I listened to the soundtrack, but I've not listened to it.
But every single track on it is marked as explicit.
Yeah.
And it's like Kendrick Lamar's very sort of, no, see, using the word political again, but I suppose if we're using it for that, then he is very political in like what he does. So I was really surprised that Marvel like aligned themselves with Kendrick Lamar because of that reason.
Yeah.
But there's loads of his stuff's about like black people getting shot by police and inequality.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good, bold move by Marvel, and it's making loads of money, so it's paid off clearly, isn't it? And
exactly, yeah. I think
most reasonable people have enjoyed it. I mean, if you don't enjoy it because you don't like the film, that's fine. But if you're not enjoying it because
it's political,
then yeah.
Yeah, I think as well obviously on a smaller scale, but the film. I think as well, like the females in this film were like great. Like it was so good. Like I think it's just probably obviously it's more understated and less of a focal point for the film. But I'd say it does just as much for female characters.
Oh, it does. Yeah, seen people talking about
black characters as well.
Shuri, who's his little sister. Like, people are absolutely loving it. So this is my new favorite Disney princess, and
yeah,
it's like it's great.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's good actually. I never thought of it that way. Yeah,
it's like easy for us to sit here and be like, and kind of dismiss that, And like people at the end of my screen got up and like clapped, and I was kind of like, that's a bit extreme.
Yeah.
Then I was kind of like, well, to be fair, I've had like, I'm not saying you can't relate with people who aren't black and who aren't women as a white man, because obviously you can. But all we've had to look up to is people who look like us and are like us, and that's all who anyone else has had to look up to. So they've got people now to look up to who are from a similar background, and that must be
yeah. And I think
like we can't possibly imagine how that feels.
Yeah, exactly. I think as well, obviously, because it was, again, we don't want to use political. It's not like, surely it must just be nice for a company of Disney and Marvel's size to go, do you know what? We're going to tell your story. You know, we're going to put a spotlight on this and say, you know, make a comment about it. And other thing well liked as well, obviously, without going into spoilers, it doesn't lean too far one way or the other. It doesn't go, this is the right answer, or that's not, like, do you know, like, obviously it doesn't.
That's one thing I loved about it, yeah.
It doesn't try and go, okay, here's the problem. This is what we're going to say about it. It just kind of goes, well, this is the problem. Like, there are many ways that people think this should be tackled, and
that's why I think
it's kind of up
Killmonger was probably the best villain we've had, because he was like, throughout most of the film, I was on his side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think he's perfectly right until like he's very close to being almost the hero of the piece, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I mean, he's like the line. It's like one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, and Nelson Mandela was a terrorist.
Yeah, you know,
and he's
Luke Skywalker, terrorist.
Also, Luke Skywalker, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, same person.
Basically the same person. I think we covered non-spoilers. Yeah, we said like all the character motivations were all spot on. All the characters were spot on. It was such like a personal conflict. Like, it was kind of quite a big scale, but also quite internal as well. Like, it's about him and his own kind of like moral dilemmas and how to deal with them. One thing that I didn't like was the Marvel third act syndrome.
Yeah, I think
which like, because like this goes into we'll talk about it in spoilers in a minute, but there's a bit too much CGI at the end for my liking.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I thought the same, but on a second viewing yesterday, I was like, didn't bother me that much at all.
I mean, it didn't bother me. Just
no, it didn't. But I think it didn't. Yeah, but on a second viewing, I was like, oh, actually, this isn't as bad as not that it was terrible, but
no, exactly. That's nitpicking, really.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to get to that point again and be like, but I actually didn't. Like, whenever you watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I've just completely switched off at that last bit until you know the Yondu bit where he's saving
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, that bit in the bit where he properly saves.
Yeah, that's a good bit.
What's he called?
Peter Quill.
Peter Quill, yeah.
It may have been your father.
I just switch off for
it wasn't your daddy.
Bit. Yeah, I switch off for that.
I can't work out if that's a great line or a terrible line.
I think it's both. Although
right on the edge.
Yeah, my friend Guff has said that he realised why the dialogue's so bad in that film. He said it's like everyone in that film is like an NPC in an RPG game, and they've only got like set responses, and they just keep saying like the same thing but in a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I'm gonna watch it again now.
Yeah, I do switch off at that point in that film every time. But rewatching Black Panther, I was like, oh no, I'm still actually really engaged in this. Again, probably because the character motivations are so good, and you're like, this is kind of a fight worth having, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to go into spoilers then?
Yeah, let's go into spoilers.
What do you think? So Wakanda is this obviously like highly secretive but advanced Afrofuturist, Matt. That's a word. Apparently I didn't know until I started writing my review.
Is it a good word?
Yeah. It's a real genre of literature.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It kind of feels like
it does feel
like a made-up word white people would come up with
probably
to describe
is. It's got a Wikipedia article, so I went with it.
Oh, there we go.
But kind of this important kind of like parallel between Wakanda and like white history in a way. Like, obviously Michael B. Jordan's character comes from where's he come from?
Wakanda.
No, originally like where he grew up in sort of poverty-ridden, so black America. I can't remember. Is it California? Yeah.
Well, California's obviously big, but yeah.
And he's kind of
I think it's
seen
somewhere in
like
California.
the whole kind of oppression of black people in these areas where they're using like a crate as like a basketball hoop, and there's just no kind of there's kind of this massive disparity between where the black people live and the white people live. And then, but I think him growing up, he then knew kind of what Wakanda was and what it was capable of, and he kind of grew up resenting why they hadn't bothered to help African American people, kind of everywhere. And you think like throughout the whole film, you're just like, yeah, he's got a really good point. Until the bit where he talks about like overthrowing the oppressors, and you think, maybe he's gone a little bit far. But you can still completely understand like why he wants to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
That's
white
the great
people are
thing.
bad.
Yeah, it's like exactly. You get to that point, you're like, oh, it's probably not. It's not the way I'd go with it, but I can like.
But I've not been repressed my whole life, so
yeah, it's believable. Like it's completely believable that that would happen if there were the means that like they're available. Some people would take that option, take that choice, and that's what I mean about it kind of being, not saying too much about which way's right, which way's wrong, who's the goodie, the baddie, whatever. Obviously, he's the villain, for want of a better word, I suppose. But it just makes a really great point, and that's what holds the story together. But it's not just about that either. Do you know what I mean? It's just really good.
Did you like the reveal that he was his cousin?
Yeah, I did like that.
Did you see it coming?
I didn't actually know. Although you should do, because on the second viewing, the guy says his name. Oh no, Sorry, I didn't know. No, apparently my friend did. I was talking about a different point. Sorry. I was thinking of a different bit then. No, I didn't see it coming. No.
No, it was a good. It was a good twist.
Yeah, it was.
And
a
like
good twist,
like the bit where they did the flashback, but then obviously cut away from it.
Yeah.
Beforehand was really effective because you just think, oh, he's just gone back with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then you realise kind of what's happened. And I love like that kind of. I kind of love it when your hero figure like realizes that his side aren't necessarily good guys.
Yeah.
Like his dad obviously kills his uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
And when we kind of find it out, that's a really I really love that when that happens in a film when you realize the good guys actually they're not that good.
Yeah.
Kind of like in The Winter Soldier where you realize that Shield are just Hydra and that really kind of like throws a spanner in the works. That's
exactly.
Really good.
Yeah. I thought.
Go on.
It was just like full of emotion as well. Like I realized I was kind of when any character was in peril, I was like on the edge of my seat, and I was like, oh god, like there was not too much like just like cannon fodder, just like killing people and like, oh yeah, he's dead now, he's dead. It's like when like that bit where the Royal Guards decide to try and take on Killmonger, and he like slits one of the throats. I was actually like, oh my.
Yeah, I was like, shit.
I was like, that's a character that we've not even met. Like we only really know the general.
Yeah.
But because the film's built up so well, and we know like who they are and what they represent and what they're fighting for, when she's just there like Wakanda forever and he slits the throat, I was just like,
shit.
That's like really impressive that you can build that kind of power just for, one of the royal guards who, doesn't even have a name in the film.
Yeah, agreed.
And when Thingy died as well, Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, did you see? I was gonna say actually, did you see? Yeah, that was a really good moment, and as well, like it was like we'd seen like one scene with him, maybe two before he died.
Yeah,
and you still feel how important he was to T'Challa.
Exactly. Yeah,
well
yeah.
That was did you see that coming?
That was the bit I was talking about.
He was the guy in the apartment.
No, I didn't.
I did.
What you should do.
Because he's got a wonky eye.
He says his name.
Does he? I know it's because he had a wonky eye, and I was like, they've definitely got a guy with a wonky eye because he plays Forrest Whitaker later on.
No, it's like, no, but the thing is, as well, I don't know if it's supposed to be a twist or not. Watching it again, because do you know in the start of the film where he's like, he says his name to King T'Chaka, and then later on he's saying to someone, and then I think in the ceremony, he's like, I am this person, son of this person. You're like, oh, he said that earlier. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a twist or not. Or
I don't know. It's pretty good, though.
Yeah, no, it is good. Yeah. Because at the first, I took it as a twist, and I was like, oh, my God. But then watching it again, I'm like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a twist or not.
Added twists. It's always good.
If I just forgot what his name was, and then... Yeah, but no, it was really good. That was good as well. I like that it did have twists in it though. That it wasn't just plain old good guy, bad guy. Is what's going to happen. All that sort of stuff. And
I think like the ambiguity just really helps with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I think the fight,
empathizing with your villain is just so important. Like these sort of films are only as good as your villain is usually.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you have a shit villain, the film can be fine and great, but I don't think you can never like elevate to that next level without a villain you can at least have some sort of empathy with.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think obviously like Thor Ragnarok didn't have a great villain. She was all right.
But I think that was great because it was a comedy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it was a comedy. It didn't need that to like. If your villain's not great, you've got to have
something else.
Something else there, and the comedy obviously is that thing. But there's not a lot of other things that will carry a film that's not got a great villain in it.
So it's like Logan was one.
Yeah, but Logan didn't really need a villain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Again, that was more just because it was a character-driven piece rather than. It's a hard thing to do. If you're going to do a generic film and your villain's rubbish, then it's going to be pretty difficult.
What about Andy Serkis? He is a good villain while he lasted.
Yeah,
I was really surprised by this.
I was as well, but I really enjoyed him. I thought
he's having a good time, wasn't he?
He was just mental. Like
the bit where he's got like I love the joke where he said, and it was weird. It was quite funny, this film actually, which I wasn't really expecting. But there's a joke where he said, what is it? He said to him about was it Mike Freeman's character said something about like he got a new mixtape out or something. He's like, yeah, check out our SoundCloud.
Yeah, I'll send you our SoundCloud. Yeah, I really enjoyed him. But
I just love the idea of him having a SoundCloud account. He just makes music.
Exactly. Yeah, but it was really surprising when he died. I was like, oh my god, yeah, cool, right. But at the same time, it didn't feel out of place. It was like, okay,
I was kind of like, okay, this guy's. It was important for Michael B. Jordan's character, I think, to kill him.
Yeah, to show he means. I mean, obviously,
he was just using him for
his own gains.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty good.
But then also that fuels. What's he called? The guy from Get Out.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, I can't remember what his character name is.
I don't know.
That really fuels him as well because obviously that's one of those relationships I was talking about earlier, like him and T'Chaka. You see them have this thing where you're like, okay, they've got a bond, like these two, pretty much brothers sort of thing, like very, very close. T'Chaka doesn't want to let him down and everything. T'Challa, sorry, doesn't want to let him down and everything. And then he does when he doesn't bring Andy Serkis
There is a weird
back.
bit where I think there might be a scene missing where he suddenly gets very angry at him. And it's like he tries to get Andy. It's like there's a bit that he's like, "Oh, you're good. You're trying to get Andy Serkis, Claw, whatever his name is. You're trying to get him. That's great. He's been evading capture for too long.
Yeah,
and he comes back and he's like tried really hard and failed. And he's just like, this is the same as before. It's like it's a bit of a leap for me, that bit.
Yeah, I think that's the tiniest bit.
Yeah, it is nitpicking, but you could have had like a bit more subtle. It's the one bit of the film which has like no subtlety in it whatsoever, and they just need him to swap sides.
Yeah.
And it feels like they kind of rushed it.
I think watching it the second time, he's just like more disappointed at that point, and then obviously when Killmonger shows up with the body of the man that killed his parents, that like I kind of believe that he's ready then to be like, all right, this guy.
So it's taking shit seriously.
And also, like, obviously, Killmonger's got all those cuts on his body from confirmed kills and stuff. All the people he's killed, he's put a mark on himself. Did you because obviously, I can't remember what his character's called. It's gonna do my head in, whatever he's called. His tribe, obviously, he's got all the cuts like under his eyes.
Oh, is that what that is?
I don't know. That's a connection I made. I thought maybe
I didn't know it's
they were kills as well that he's done. So that's why there was almost like a bond between them, because he saw like Killmonger who had all these cuts just like all over him, and there was this like respect there. I don't know. That's kind of, on a second viewing, I kind of saw that. I was like, is that a thing or is that just something I'm reading into? I don't know.
I did not notice that.
No, but I didn't first time too much, but the second time I kind of did, and I was like, oh, that kind of connects a few dots a little bit as to why he sort of.
It's probably, it wouldn't put me past. Like, I think
leans to his
I was
side.
reading that Ryan Coogler like went to live in Africa for a bit to do like apparently Kevin Feige asked him to do it, and he was like, yeah, I'll do it, but I want to go and do some research in Africa first.
Yeah,
I was like, you can tell that he's done that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was great, and Like I liked that there was this, like, because I always felt like he didn't want to do that. He didn't kind of want to betray T'Challa. I just think he felt like he had his goal. He knew what he wanted. He, again, thought he knew what his people needed.
Yeah, exactly.
And Killmonger was going to be the one to take them there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. And I love the moment between him and the general at the end.
Yeah.
Where he was like, "Would you kill me, my love?"
She's like, "Yeah."
She was like, "For Wakanda, yes." And I was like,
"Is that right? Get off my rhino then."
Boom. Badass. Yeah, but I like that as well, that he just surrendered, that they didn't have to be. That he was like, "Okay, maybe you'll kill me, but I'm not going to." Either he knew he was bested or he was like, "I'm not going to kill you." So it kind of still... Because I didn't end up hating... you kind of feel like you should hate him, but at the same time, I was sort of...
You kind of
didn't see him as, I didn't see him as a villain, really.
Yeah, no, totally. What about the death fake out?
With T'Challa?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's not.
I know, I always...
But I liked it. I did think it was a pretty epic...
It was a good fight. Like I loved those fight scenes. It was so good.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was talking about before a bit with the CGI. When like they had the fight scene in the challenge pool, whatever it's called. And obviously he kills Forrest Whitaker, and then he obviously throws T'Challa's like unconscious body off the waterfall. Was he unconscious?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's like visually, it's really like it works so well, and it's so dramatic. And then like the end, that's a really good scene, and it feels really personal and emotional, and his family there and everything. And then the end fight is even them like on a green screen, just trying to push each other in front of a train that's also CGI, and it's really dark. And I don't know whether the lighting in our cinema is off. But like, do you know when you can't see the blacks properly?
Yeah.
And in a scene that's dark, if you can't tell the blacks apart with two characters dressed in black, it's quite hard to see what's going on.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was just the lights in the cinema or whether
it may have been, because I watched it. The first time I watched it in a regular screen. The next time I watched it was on like a much bigger, better quality screen, and I felt like it did show up, but like the fight wasn't as like dark and weird as it kind of appeared the first time. It may also have been because it was cutting from there to like the really bright outdoors,
possibly, yeah,
as well. Like that also made it a little bit jarring, but yeah, it would have been better to have that more personal, because all the stuff leading up to it was really, really great.
Yeah, exactly. So. And then it's like, we need a way. It's one of those typical things where it's like they're both wearing kind of impenetrable suits. We need a way to make them vulnerable.
Yeah,
and I think it was a bit heavy-handed.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's kind of one of those problems that it's really difficult.
But then they have the scene afterwards as well. After that, which I think is really good, where he takes him to he takes him to see the sunset. And also the bit where I just remember this bit, the bit where they sort of like die before they get crowned, and obviously when T'Challa kind of he goes to the ancestral plane. That's it.
Yeah,
different from the astral plane. There's so many planes in these films.
Yeah, too many planes.
He goes and like sees his dad and his ancestors and stuff, but Killmonger can't get there, and he's just like stuck in that apartment with his dad. And they can outside the window, you can kind of see the kind of ancestral plane.
Yeah,
that was like really interesting.
It was, yeah.
That was so good.
Like, we're lost. Like, Killmonger and his dad are both like, we're lost, and maybe it's because Wakanda's wrong, and that's why they can't find us.
I thought that was really interesting. That's popped into my head, but I thought it was a really cool moment. And like Michael B. Jordan in that scene as well, is so good, where he just single tear rolls down his cheek.
Yeah, he's just really good in the film. Like, because I know that the fight scene in the train thing's not great, but to be fair, it isn't that long either. It's really short, which kind of adds the power to it. And then as soon as the fight's over, there's a really powerful like just after he stabbed him, there's a really powerful moment as well. Like, he makes a bit of a joke, like, hell of a move when he like Joe throws the knife over the train. And grabs it, like
essentially they're on the same team. Like,
just through that little suit, it was like hell of a move. And then it is a really nice moment, that bit where he realizes he's going to die, and he realizes he's lost, and he's not just like, oh, I would have got away with it too if it weren't for you, sort of thing. He kind of just accepts and
Scooby-Doo,
opens up and says like, oh, my dad always said Wakanda was amazing and stuff. And I thought just thought it was really great, to be honest. Like watching it a
Yeah.
second time, like, this is a good film.
Where is it in your Marvel list? Top 5?
I'd definitely put it up there. I think, yeah. Obviously, time, will
I think I still prefer the 2 Captain America films, Civil War and Winter Soldier. Well, definitely Winter Soldier. But it's
I'd
up in
probably put it up with
there with me,
Civil
yeah.
War, though, probably. I'd put it up there, most definitely. Obviously, as like it's fresh in my mind, and
I love how it's like you're still kind of thinking about it as well afterwards.
Exactly,
You're
yeah.
still
You're
like,
not
when I
just-
watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 the other day, I was like, that was fun, but I've not thought about it since. Whereas I'm watching
Exactly,
this, I'm
yeah.
like, oh, that was really interesting. That was really interesting. And it's the same with The Last Jedi as well. I was like, well, that was a really interesting point that they did. I'd rather watch a film like that any day than a film that's just blowing shit up for the sake of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think as well with like the subtlety as well, as I said, like I was picking up on other little bits and pieces like as it was going on and everything, like the stuff with the cuts. Like I might be reading into that, I don't know, but that was something that was kind of like, oh, is that something? I think films that do that you can watch a first time and really, really enjoy and take something from, but then when you watch it again, there's more things you can pick up on and subtler
definitely.
things. It's not necessarily bad filmmaking that you've not seen them the first time around. It's just like sophisticated filmmaking. It's got a lot of depth to it. I think that's really, really clever.
Post-credit scenes, these are getting less and less impactful though, aren't they?
Yeah, I think people were expecting like really impactful ones because it's obviously the film before Infinity War. But I'm kind of like, I don't want to see anything leading up to Infinity War.
No.
I don't want anything to
that.
spoil a bit of that film. But I thought they were both good scenes, to be fair.
The UN one was a bit like, why is the one at the UN, was it the UN or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Like, why is that not in the film?
Oh yeah, that definitely should be in the film.
There's just no point putting that after the credits. It's not like a little Easter egg or anything. It's just, this is a scene that we should have put in the film that we've left to the end of the credits for no reason.
Yeah, to be fair,
And it also
as well,
shows
though,
that Martin Freeman's still alive.
Yeah,
Who I thought was really good in this. And he had he had a
good.
massive role compared to what I thought he'd have.
Yeah, and he had an arc as well.
He did. He
had
was
his own
good.
thing going on. But no, I like watching that scene again as well. I don't think I sort of respected how impactful it was either, and how powerful that scene is.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
really
US
good. Yeah,
the
that's why I
first
think it
time
should be in the
around.
film, because I think it's quite important.
Yeah, like watching it a second, like people, like in my second screening, people started clapping after that bit. Or like
Yeah,
during
weird that in ours,
bit.
yeah.
But I could see the people that it was, and it was this like group of like young black people, and I was like, that's actually really nice. That
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? They're not clapping because they're going, oh, that's a great piece of filmmaking. Or do you know, like, when I watched The Force Awakens, at the end of that, everyone was like clapping and cheering. But that was just because it was like, yeah,
Star
I'm a
Wars.
nerd, and that was like so nerdy, and that was great, and it gave everything I wanted. Whereas this was like, yeah, that message is important, sort of thing, and I appreciate that that's being told on the scale that it is. And
Yeah, exactly.
I think maybe, yeah, it should have been on the end of the film, but I think people like Marvel know that people are going to wait around for that
True,
anyway.
yeah.
So
The one after that was just Bucky coming
Yeah.
out of a thing, and he looks like
I did
he's
like-
probably cured.
exactly, I did like that little joke though, where Martin Freeman had got shot, and they bring him to the lab, and
Oh
she's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, oh, another broken white point for me to fix.
What was the joke as well where Martin Freeman says something, and he has to touch him and says, "Don't touch anything, colonizer." It's like,
Yeah.
That's such a great joke. And if you're a white person offended by that, you should not be, because colonization was awful.
Yeah, colonization was bad.
Someone probably is offended by that. That's about it. Looking forward to seeing more of Wakanda though. In Infinity War, it looks like it's probably going to be a massive part of that.
Yeah, I'm
Which
really looking
is
forward
good.
to it.
And obviously, they didn't even know that this was going to be. Actually, one thing about the UN thing, actually, where T'Challa says, like, someone says, like, what could you possibly have to offer the world? Or something.
Yeah.
And he sort of smiles. Is he just talking about, like, is he just thinking, like, vibranium and all their tech? Because in my head, I was for the whole film, I was kind of waiting for, like, a little Infinity Gem, like, Easter egg. I was like, is it going to be an Infinity Gem?
Yeah,
Because I'm thinking, they keep saying they've called Visions the Soul's, the Mind Stone or something.
Yeah.
But it'd make more sense if his was a Soul Stone that gives him a soul, and the Wakandan have one that's maybe a Mind Stone that gives him. But then it's kind of offensive if they can't do it on their own. They're just using the Infinity Gem to
Yeah,
create all the
exactly,
tech.
yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. But
yeah.
I was kind of like, I thought that little smile might have been, and I thought he might have like put his hand out with a stone or something, but he didn't. So
No, I didn't think of that actually. To be fair, but
they're probably just
Could
making
be.
it up. But it looks like there probably is one in Wakanda based on the Infinity War like trailer we've seen. It was quite Wakanda
Yeah.
central. I'd be surprised if there wasn't one.
maybe they come across one or something.
Yeah.
You know, when the
There's one in the middle of the meteorite or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's what gives vibranium its power.
Yeah, potentially.
Who knows? Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Just some feedback.
I'd love some feedback.
I've got this new thing. I ask people for 3-word reviews. Snappy.
Snappy stuff.
First up, Nerds Chatting on Twitter said Marvel's game changer.
Yeah.
Agree, disagree?
I mean, it depends if you mean it's changing the Marvel universe. I don't think it's changing the Marvel universe, but in terms of filmmaking, yeah, I think it's taken Marvel where it's not been before into a place of making a real statement on like the current political climate in the world.
Yeah, no, that is a very good point that they've done that. I mean, even though it's so weird that could possibly be a risky thing to say that oppression of black people is bad. Like,
Yeah.
how is it's weird that saying that might have been a risk for them.
It's sad, isn't it?
It's quite bizarre that it's really sad, and quite shocking. But yeah, I'd say it is. And the same with like Wonder Woman, where people are saying like making a film for a woman is a risk. It's
like why?
It's bizarre, yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked enough about that. It's fine. Hamish from HC Movie Reviews says, "All hail Coogler."
Yeah.
Have you seen Creed?
I've not seen Creed.
Creed's
no.
very good, and his first
I've
film
heard.
was supposed to be very good as well. I can't remember what it's called, but it's also got Michael B. Jordan in it. So I'm probably going to check that out actually. But Creed's very good. This is very good. It's 3. I think all these films are over 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good track record, really.
Doing all right, yeah.
So we agree, Amish. We have a Hulk said best MCU villain.
I'd definitely put him up there, yeah.
I mean, there's not great. There's Loki, who I don't really see him as a villain for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I suppose that's the best villains, isn't it? You
Yeah,
don't see
yeah,
them
true.
As much as a villain.
I like the Winter Soldier, even though he's
Again, not really. That's what I mean. All the ones that are the best ones are the ones that are
not.
complicated.
Yeah.
And there's a line. There's not like a set line of going, they're a bad guy because they do this. It's it's a lot of grey, which
Who else is there?
Killmonger falls in that. I mean,
I can't
yeah,
think
you've
of
got
it.
like
Vulture was good actually. He was good as well.
Vulture was really good. You've obviously got the early ones like in Iron Man and
The ones who
like
are
that.
just the good guys, but in a different suit. Which, to be fair, when I watched the trailer for this, I'm like, this is just going to be that guy. He looks going to be the same, but in a suit, isn't he?
To be fair though, I like Iron Man 2's that. Iron Man 1, I like what's he called?
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
I do like him. Like he's.
I like him, but I think I only like him because it's Jeff Bridges rather than because of the character.
He's a bit like villainy and stuff, but it was early days, and I think he does have a motivation to what he
true.
does.
Yeah,
I mean, it does end up as two guys in a suit fighting, but I think he's got.
Yeah. I think he's overlooked actually.
Yeah, I think that's the point of it because he's trying to steal that tech.
Yeah, exactly. Jack and the Geek Stalk said gorgeous but average. It was very nice looking, but I think it was above average.
Yeah,
for the
think
reasons
it's
we mentioned.
amazing. Look, I've heard some people be like, the cinematography is incredible.
I thought some of the green screen depositing was really iffy.
Yeah, like some of the cinematography is really nice. Like the shots on the basketball court are really nice.
Yeah,
like at the start.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
But,
I thought the Wakanda stuff wasn't as
camera
impressive as people said it was.
Yeah,
Like before people
exactly,
saying like,
I think
the Wakanda looks amazing. I'm like, does it? I mean, it's just shiny
Yeah,
stuff, isn't it? Some of it looks a bit prequel-ish.
yeah, it's nice, but
I
think that's not what I took away from the film.
I would, I'd say the opposite of that. I would say fine looking, but very good.
Yeah.
Nate from Nerds Chatting said it's just a film.
No.
These reviews actually are quite quite kind of down compared to what we've said and what a lot of people have said.
Yeah, exactly,
but I don't know whether that's like hype, a response to hype or not. I don't know.
Yeah, because to be fair, actually, I remember saying when we were talking about the trailer, like I was digging it a lot less than.
I remember saying I loved it, and I'm glad that I was right.
Yeah, I was just like, I think this looks all right, but actually, it was above my expectations.
I think we have sort of said why we thought it was more than just a film.
Yeah.
Comic Arts Festival podcast said typical superhero movie.
I mean, if you think that, you've missed the whole message of the film. Like, you need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah,
basically.
I think there is more. Yeah, I don't mean
there's a lot more than just typical superhero.
I want to tell
stuff,
people what to get out of a film, but
it's like go and rewatch it and pay attention this time. Like, because if you think this is just a typical superhero, you're just wrong. Like that's
it's not. It's not. It's
at the end of the day, you are just yeah.
There is more to it. Jim Bob Squarepants says massive letdown.
This is where the 3-word reviews.
Yeah, because we don't know why.
So I'd like to know, what was a massive letdown?
I mean, it got a lot of responses because I think it's 3 words, and people want to respond if it's only short.
Yeah. Let us know, Jim Bob.
Let us know if you're listening. What you didn't
I'm
like.
interested to know what.
Because I would.
That's what I mean.
The only a lot of the hate I've seen from it is from people saying like, "Oh, why is it so political?" Stuff like, "Well, why?" Like, don't watch it then. If you don't want to see a film made by a black person for black people about black people, then if you think that's political, don't watch it. But yeah, if you do have issues with it, like I had a few issues with, I think some of it was a bit generic, like the CGI stuff, which I mentioned. But I think like the character stuff overcompensate for that for me. But
yeah.
James Carroll said too much CGI. We've already said, agreed with.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Good, great Logan X. Far too political. The rest of the podcast is a response to that.
Yeah. Just see.
But he also sent another 3-word review saying, but also fantastic. So.
But the political stuff was what made it fantastic.
What made it good, yeah, for us. Anyway.
Yeah, so I'd like to know what he thought made it fantastic. If it isn't,
because that's the thing for me. Like I thought, if I
power.
took out the political stuff, I thought it was just another film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what's strange that people are going, "Oh, there's too much politics in it." But apart from that, I loved it, and I'm like, "Oh,
I loved kind
if
of."
If it didn't have that message in it and that motivation of all the characters, I would literally just think, "Oh, this is just another film.
superhero film." Yeah. Nikki Draws says, "Paint by numbers." It's a weird. We've got a lot of mixed responses here, considering.
Yeah,
it's on such a high score on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff.
Yeah, it is it's interesting. Like, because I mean, it is like getting a bigger response than usual on the Marvel films. Because usually people with Marvel films are just like, yeah, it's great, or no, it's rubbish. Like this is actually seems to have been creating a bit more of a wider spectrum of like responses to it rather than just.
And most of it's been, I think, fairly sensible as well. Like at least it's not people telling Ryan Johnson to go and kill himself or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's quite nice, isn't it? People not giving people death threats for making something that they didn't like. So that's always good. Yeah, nice to have a mix of. We only had 3 positive things out of that, so that's yeah. We got another review from the Screen Plug, which it's a lot more than 3 words, but I'll do it anyway because
we'll let you off.
They make a very good point actually. Said we'll be covering the same on my show in a bit. Good luck. Thanks. I hope it's gone okay so far. I don't know. I'll say I believe the film is beautiful, except the CGI in places. Powerful, empathic. Is that a word? Powerful, empathic villain. Probably is. I don't know. I just can't read, basically. Honestly, feel like there's something extra to be pulled from it for the black audience. Also, I get when people say, I def get when people say it's too political because superhero movies are supposed to be escapism at its finest. But Black Panther is a new leader of a sovereign nation. Stripping away politics would feel disingenuous.
I'd agree. Yeah, I think that's all.
That's
really
very good. That's
really good points.
We should have read that out and then not done the podcast.
Exactly, yeah. Probably much more succinct and intelligent than what we've just done. So maybe go and listen to their podcast.
It's probably going to be better. That's it for feedback.
Cool.
That's it for Black Panther. We love Black Panther. Go watch it. Yeah. 4 stars in my review. Yes, let's do book club. This week we watched Nightcrawler, which is not a book, it's a film, but we don't care.
It's the best book I've ever read, and I've read 15 books.
50 books is not a lot. Wait, you said 15?
You picked this book club, Matt.
What? I said, do you want to explain what book club is for people that don't know what book club is?
Yeah, I was going to say, you picked this book club, Matt. You can explain what it is.
So book club is where we read, watch, ingest something that was from a while ago that we've not got around to doing, but now we have got around to doing. And each week or so, or 2 weeks, we're going to pick something. We're both going to watch it, and then we're going to chat about it. So last time we were on, we kind of jointly picked Nightcrawler, the Jake Gyllenhaal film, and we've both watched it.
We did.
I watched it this morning at like
that's
9
not.
in the
It's
morning.
not a morning film. That's
definitely not a morning film. No.
I mean, it says night in the title, so
should kind of be watched on your own in a dark room somewhere. And yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, I really did like it. It's
I thought
very
it was awesome.
It's very effective and very creepy.
Right.
So it's about this guy who is a psychopath or sociopath. He's a psychopath, isn't he? But he's quite clearly on the spectrum, the autistic spectrum. And he kind of starts this job of 10% battery, Matt. Starts this job of taking pictures of crime scenes or videos of crime scenes and sending them to news stations for money. And it kind of follows him as he gets like obsessed with these kind of crime scenes and getting there first and getting the images. And do you want to? Should we do spoilers or?
I'd say minor spoilers.
Minor spoilers, but it's kind of. I suppose it's not really like a twisty sort of film, but it's about like his obsession and how he is just basically really sick and like he would do literally anything to get these pictures first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and would like manipulate a crime scene to get, or like an accident to make it
look better.
And,
yeah,
like obviously this is a minor spoiler, but there's one bit where he can't really get the shot that he wants, so he sort of drags a
body,
either dead or unconscious body,
it's great.
like to where he wants it to be, so the shot's better and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not nice.
No, it's like Jake Gyllenhaal's like incredible.
He is incredible.
So
He's
good.
absolutely incredible. Like
it's so
he
creepy,
plays that
but
like
believable and
it's weird to kind of. It's a really hard thing to kind of get.
He gets
performance,
the balance right.
that kind of balance, that kind of subtlety between being a normal guy who he clearly like was, like a not normal guy, but someone who has clearly done nothing wrong before in his life, really to be in this kind of absolute psychopath.
Yeah,
and like his relationship with the news manager as well is
weird,
so creepy and so like.
Yeah, like that's kind of it doesn't like explain everything that happens with them either, and you're like.
You have to, you do have to infer it, like what's happened. And you're like, that's
what has happened there, yeah. And kind of reminded me of like Psycho and American Psycho. Obviously, I think that's kind of a similar tone they were going for. That kind of.
Oh, doorbell's just ringing. Give me a second.
Oh no, leave them.
Back. Do it again. Psycho.
It kind of reminds me of like Psycho and American Psycho sort of thing. That kind of Bateman sort of creepiness, and no, it's just really, really, really. Good film. Like
it's definitely worth a watch.
Recommend checking it out. Yeah,
I mean it's one of those films where like the credits roll, you're just like uncomfortable for a bit, and you just even in your own house, you just sort of sit there like for like 30 seconds, just I feel a bit. I need to shower or something now because that was
It sounds like pleasant. He thinks. It's like how he thinks he can know everything as well just by googling it all.
Yeah, I love that. I love that kind of bit where he's like, I don't have a formal education, and like the way he talks to it's Riz Ahmed, isn't it?
Yeah, Riz
Ahmed. The way he
kind
of talks to him, he's like his sort of. His employee, the way he talks to him like about how to manage a business and stuff, is like the way he just basically quotes it from a textbook word for word. It's just really like it doesn't say, oh, he's a man who quotes everything from a textbook. He just does it, and it's just really well like it's just so well done.
Yeah, it's really good.
And,
it's like
check
the way that he calls his company as well, like Video Production News.
Yeah,
like he obviously doesn't understand that. How dumb that name is, but it still kind of works in a way.
It's accurate, yeah.
It's accurate, but it's really childish and like it's what a child would call that.
He is like a child, though, isn't he? He's just this little kid who. I think she says that at one point to him. But very good. Check that out.
Very good. Yes, definitely.
What?
You got any ideas what you want to do for next time?
Well, I've bought there's a new Kick-Ass series out by Mark Miller, but with a different hero. So I thought maybe we could do that. The first issue.
Yeah, that'd be good.
When I think it came out, when this comes out, it will have come out last week. So maybe we could review that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
That's it for this week.
Yeah, that is everything.
We have to thank everyone for the feedback. Most of it was very good. All of it was very good. Different to what we said as well, which is always kind of helpful. It's kind of annoying we asked for feedback and I was like, that was good.
And like, we thought the same.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone for listening. Thanks for subscribing. If you subscribe, if you don't, then please do. If you want to leave us an iTunes review, that's helpful, apparently. So that'd be nice. Share the podcast, whatever else. Let us know what you thought of Nightcrawler if you've seen it, or watch it now and then let us know after you've watched it. Anything else?
No, there was a new edition of the short Sunday short film supplement out today. Well, whenever this podcast's out on the previous Sunday, so catch up on that. There's a new episode of Bonfire to Boss as well. Check that out.
It's done quite well, statistically.
Yeah, it has, and I'm editing a video at the moment called Whose Idea Was That?, where I look at silly things that people decided to put into films.
Good stuff.
So that'll be out probably about the same time as this podcast, actually. So
smashing.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.